breeze. And we have our final race of the broadcast, the second repechage of the men's 8. In lane 1, Russia, lane 2, Australia, lane 3, the United States of America, lane 4, New Zealand, and lane 5, Poland. And wow, Greg, what a repechage this race will be.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough race to be in as we look at the crew from the Russian Federation at the top, 3 of whom were able to race in Rio in the Coxless 4. They'd all been independently tested by WADA in the year, so they were allowed to race. They were in the Coxless 4 in Rio. The Australian crew, very good in Lucerne, but some of those, 4 of those rowers have come out and are now in the Coxless 4, so this is a younger crew. And so we expect them still to be strong and to really make a big challenge for this repechage. I'm looking forward to seeing the crew from the United States, who pushed the German crew very hard in the heat. We're right up with them, coached by Mike Tatey, a legend of US rowing, as we see them here. Only one of them was in the Rio Olympics as the 3-man. He was 4th in Rio in the 8. The New Zealanders, 7 of whom were in the 8 in Rio, joined by a lightweight, James Lashin, in the bow seat. They came 6th in Rio, got a silver medal in Poznan. They're in the B final in Lucerne, so they need to step it on. And the Polish, who I think really are inconsistent, it would be fair to say, in the 8. They got silver medals in the European Championships. They've been all over the place really this season. 7 of them were also racing in Rio, where they finished 5th. So really, this is going to be a close one, and I think very difficult to call.
Yeah, we're away here in the men's 8. That United States men's 8, only 1 second off the Germans, who set the world best time earlier in the year. So they're certainly the crew to watch, and we're seeing a real rebuilding of this US men's 8, which has been so dominant really since the event started, but has really suffered the last sort of 4 or 5 years in the event. So great to see them back featuring heavily in this race, no doubt. But the Poles, as you said, a little inconsistent. So it'll be interesting to see if they can stay on terms with these 2 leading boats, who surprisingly are the New Zealanders, alongside, not surprisingly, the Americans. The Kiwis have had a fairly inconsistent year as well. You know, we saw those really great performances back when most of these guys were under 23s, winning the under 23 World Championships in the men's 8 twice, and then going on to the seniors and going to the Olympic Games in Rio, and probably having a little bit of a disappointing race there. But we saw real momentum with this crew, and then earlier in the year it kind of all fell apart and they didn't even make the A final in Lucerne, the last World Cup. But what a difference a few months can make, because now they are sitting about a metre up on the United States off to their right-hand side, and it's Australia that's really struggling. They're probably 3/4 of boat length down off the leaders, New Zealand and the United States.
Well, let's remind ourselves, it's only 2 to qualify. The crew from the United States in boat number 3 have just got that marginal lead over the experienced crew, I would say, from New Zealand alongside them. And these 2 are going to want to ease away from the rest of the field, as we see lots of power, lots of aggression from the strong men in the 8. The boat that, like you say, the United States of America have been so strong at. They do so much high-quality college rowing in 8 that they want to be able to deliver an 8 which would challenge to win a gold medal. And that's what they're hoping for with this 8, who are looking to get hold of this repechage. The last race of the day we're going to see here.
And they're so fast and furious, aren't they, the 8s? It looks like a little bit of breeze on the water, which doesn't look like much from here, but can be a little tricky to deal with. So the rowers will have to make sure that they're clean around both turns. You don't want to have any mishaps in these hard and fast races like the 8. The Kiwis currently sitting in 2nd. They know that it's do or die. This is their chance to get through to the A final. You see the Australians off to the right-hand side, currently sitting, I think, back in 3rd. They're dueling it out with the Poles. But only 2 crews, as you say, Greg, to go through. The US, as they come through the 1,000, they're about half a length up on the Kiwis, and then the Aussies and the Poles locked together in 3rd and 4th position.
Well, I've got to say, I think the crew from the United States have done this right. In a repechage, you don't want to get into a big sprint for the line. You want to get hold of it in the first 1,000. And this crew from America have been brave. They've got out early, and now in this third quarter, they're going to be hanging on. They're going to be hurting, but they're actually still able to move. And they're asking big questions of crews like this one from Poland, who, like we say, they're inconsistent. They've gone out hard, and now they're really feeling it in this difficult part of the race.
And I think the Kiwis have done a really smart job here as well. As we said earlier, where you're at the 500-metre mark will largely dictate how the race is going to turn out. You can't be out the back of the pack at the 500-metre mark and then expect to be there at the finish line. It just doesn't happen in the 8s. It's too hard, it's too fast. We're coming up to the 1,500-metre mark. Time is running out. The Kiwis put themselves out there early. They had a really great start, and now it's paying dividends because that lead is going to be too much for the Australians and the Poles to eat back, I think.
Well, there's so much pain on the course now. You've gone out as hard as you can. This is it's about a 5-minute 20, 5-minute 30 race. You've been going for 4 minutes now. Your muscles are going to be screaming. Now it's about just hanging in there and keeping going. So having a boat length lead on everyone else is going to help you so much. And that's what the Americans have got over the Polish, who are now coming back. And the Polish are going to have to make an enormous move to get in and contain and come on and take on this New Zealand crew.
Yeah, wow, look at the US here. I mean, they're going to be one of the crews to watch for a medal.
Well, we saw them push the German crew. They were only 1 second behind the German crew, who set a world best time. So this will give them confidence. This is actually good experience. They're a new combination. So for them, going through the repechage won't be the worst thing as we take a look at the Australian crew. Yeah,
the Australians sitting back in 4th position, 42 strokes a minute. New Zealand, Poland, Australia. They're all going for it. The Kiwis, they can see the Poles coming, but there's only 250 metres, 3/4 of a length. That is a lot of distance to try and make up in 250 metres. I don't think the Poles are going to have time. The Kiwis are starting to suffer. They're starting to drop back a little. The US are starting to move out. But considering that the Kiwis still have overlap with the US and the US was only a second off the Germans, it tells me that the Kiwis are going to be riding there perhaps for a medal come the weekend as well.
Well, we're going to be in for a great race in the final, but it's the Americans, I think, who are gaining experience. Big race here. They got control of this early. They're coming down to their line. Probably only 3 strokes left as they come down here. They're going to take the win in this second repechage, the final race we're going to bring you here today. New Zealand come across the line in second, and it's Poland and Australia who really had the field just slip away from them too much too early, who don't make the qualifying places, and Russia come across the line in that 5th position.
We heard the home crowd going crazy. They're very, very excited to see the US men's 8 take that repechage and certainly put themselves in a fighting position for a medal come the weekend. 2nd place and qualification for the New Zealand men's 8. Devastation for Poland and Australia, and Russia missing out.